what we've done, hopefully this, okay, is, we made commits. We kind of initialize a repository. Let me delete this. So we initialized like a new repository and we made commits, right? And kind of what we said was, all right, well, this is our main branch. And when we make a new feature, we'll want to create a feature branch and add new commits there, okay? Then when we're done, we'll want to merge the feature branch back into the main branch, okay? So to do that, remember we'd have to do like git checkout the main branch and then git merge the feature branch, F1 in this case. And that will add in these two extra commits onto our main branch. Now everything here,
Yeah, it does look like it's frozen.
let's see. Do you all see this? Like a little triangle thing? It says
Yeah,
git merge, checkout main, git merge F1. Yeah, okay. Thanks. All right. So everything here is on your laptop, okay? Like this is all on your laptop. So let me draw. This is supposed to be a laptop, right? Keyboard. Okay, this is all on your laptop. So what you want to do ultimately is like everyone, is you need to take these commits and we want to share it with other developers. And to do that, that means put it on the cloud. All right, some website like, you can think of Dropbox. And there are different alternatives. Obviously, we'll use GitHub. There are also, so we'll use GitHub and we'll take this repository and any changes we make to it, and basically we'll push up after we merge these commits into main. We'll then push these commits up to the repository that lives on GitHub, and it will do the same thing. Any new commits, it will add up there. So for example, say here, let's actually start here. Let's say that we have an existing repository on GitHub, right? And we want to make commits to it. What we can do is so this repository, let's say it has various commits on like the main branch and it lives on GitHub, okay? So what I can do to get this thing onto my computer, onto my laptop, is the first thing I can do is do git clone. We've already seen this, right? Followed by the name of the repository or the address, right? This lives at a location. So if it's mine, it'll be like Jigsaw Labs student. This is like the organization or your username slash, say it's like object-oriented programming.git. Okay? When you clone this, this will create a new folder on your computer and clone down not only the entire repository, but all of the history, the whole log, okay? And any branches. So you'll have this history of the logs just by doing like a git clone. Then what will you do? You want to update this thing, this repository. So you'll add it, you create a new branch, add a couple new features, merge them on. So now the commits are back onto the main branch. And then you'll want to do the following. We'll need to, with these new commits on the main branch, so we've already, done a git add, git commit over here, gone to this branch, merged the commits onto this branch. At this point, we want to git push to this location and this branch. In order to do that, we don't want to type in git Jigsaw Lab student OOP or whatever it is every time. We'll set this variable name called origin equal to the location of the repository in GitHub. And we'll say git push origin, the name of the branch. So if I'm on the main branch and I want to push it up to the main branch in GitHub, I'll say git push origin main, git push origin this local main branch up to the remote repository's main branch. By the remote repository, I mean the repository that lives in GitHub. Okay? So we're going to make changes on feature branch, merge it to master, or merge it to main, I should say, and then now that our local computer is ahead of what exists on GitHub, we want to push the changes that we have locally onto GitHub. Okay, so let's see that. So I'll share my screen. We have hotel guests. If you look at this thing, git status, right? Let's add, I guess, git commit -m update. I don't know what I did actually. I'll just say update index and review. Sorry for the poor commit message. And now if I look at the log, let's see what branch I'm on, make sure. We're on the main branch, that's good. And now let's look at the log. So we can see, these are the changes we made. And if we look at, we can look at our code base and make sure things look pretty good. Okay, so we can do this. Now I want to ultimately share this repository with other people and the changes that I made. So what I need to do, I think I'll go to GitHub, probably my personal account. I'm trying to think. I think I'll have to do, just to make things easier, I'll go to my personal account. And let's make a new repository. All right? And let's call this, and I'll make it public, and I'll call it like sample, and I'll set my owner to be me, and I'll call it my sample repo, or we can call it hotel guests. That works fine. And then I'll just click create repository. Now you can see it gives you good instructions as to what to do, right? Like if you have not locally created a repository, you want to type git init, right? Like say you've just, your tic-tac-toe code base. You can add a readme if you haven't done that. If you have, for the rest of your code base, you have to do git add right dot in order to add everything in the folder and make your first commit. The git branch -m main is because historically Git initialized a new repository with the branch name master, but nowadays, right, we want to call this main instead. So the -m is to rename the branch that you're on to be this word, to be main. So that's what they're doing there. And now here's the next thing. What we want to do is say, hey, instead of me, when I eventually do git push origin main, what I'm really doing is saying git push to this address. Like I think you could probably do git push -u origin, this whole long thing, right? But instead what you want to do is set a variable. And the variable's name is origin. And we're going to say that it equals this long address. What is this long address? This is the location where you created the repository in GitHub, right? Like this is the slot. This is the folder, right, where you're going to be pushing your code to. It lives here. And the username / repository name. So if you look at this, let me just show you. If I do git remote -v, you'll see nothing there. And that's because I haven't yet set origin to be anything. And now I'll do git remote add origin. So the first thing I'm doing is I'm saying I want this word origin to equal this address right here, this string, git@github.com, Jeff Katzy, hotel guests. Now if I do git remote -v, notice it's linking them up. It's linking the word origin to this address. All right. The next thing I want to do, if you look at the git log, is I want to push really these commits up to GitHub. All right. So do that. I like to check what branch I'm on. I'm on the main branch. And notice there are no commits here, but as we know, there are a bunch of commits locally on my computer. So to get them up there, I do git push. I think the first time you have to do the -u, but after that, we're probably good. And I can git push -u origin, so push to, remember that origin stands for this long thing right here, and push the main branch to a branch on GitHub called main. And cannot read, denied to Jigsaw Lab students. Oh man, so I have to invite myself. So you can see the error message. It says make sure you have the correct repository or net rights. Apparently I'm logged in locally on my computer, I guess as Jigsaw Lab students, I suppose. So what I can do is add a collaborator. Oh my god, this is going to be annoying. Hold on. I have my phone handy. 34819. Okay, and then add someone. So I think it will be Jigsaw Lab students. You all probably will not have to do this. So I'll add the repository, and now I'm gonna have to. Sorry, I'm gonna have to stop sharing for a second and give myself access. Okay, so all I did was I just copied and pasted this invitation over to the Jigsaw Lab student account and accepted. It says like click the green button to accept the invite. So that's all I did. Now that I've done this, I should be able to push. That's pushing. Okay? Notice what it's saying. It's compressing objects, basically, compressing the files that it's going to send up there, and then to this address, Jeff Katzey, Hotel Guest, pushing, this is the local branch to the branch on the cloud, right? To the branch in GitHub. So now, if you go to GitHub and we refresh this, we can see we have my code up here, and you can see that I created this branch called main. All right? So how did we do that? We just had to one time set up, right, kind of link up the word origin to equal the address, get remote, add origin, this thing, and we just copied it. When we created a new repository, it gave me that line. And then anything that I committed, right, if I have these commits here, but they're not on this branch on the cloud, it will push them up there. So let's just to go through the whole flow. Let's say I want to add another feature. All right, I'll do git checkout -b, right? Create a new branch. We'll call this, feature 2. Let's take a look where I am. We should have, we have our whole code base, and we have inherited all the logs, right? All the commits. So now we add our second feature, def add feature 2. Right? We run the tests, everything looks good. Type in git status. We see we modified this. Let's take a look at what we changed. And we added these lines, right? Add feature 2. So let's make it an git add. I'm doing git add -a. That's very similar to git add dot. It just also, if I deleted any files, -a would capture the deletion of those files, whereas the dot would not. That's a pretty small detail. So now we'll make our commit. Git commit, adding feature 2, right? And now what do we have? We have made a commit, but it's on the feature 2 branch, not on main. So the next step we need to do is merge this to the main branch, and then push this change from the local main branch up to the origin, meaning the remote, meaning GitHub's main branch, right? So I have a new commit on feature 2. If I do git log -2, we see adding feature 2. But if I check out my main branch and look over here, we'll see we do, am I lying? Hold on. I'm not lying. There is no feature 2 over here, right? So now what do? We'll git merge, whatever we called it. Hold on. Git branch -a, git merge feature 2. Once I do that, we should get that new commit that's now, we'll say, adding feature 2 or something like that. Let's take a look. Git log -2. Now this new commit is on my main branch. Okay? git branch dash a. We're on the main branch, and if you look at feature 2, right, it exists on this main branch. However, this change is not on GitHub, and you can kind of see that if you look at this is the most recent commit, and if you look at that little clock thing, right, this is showing you all of the logs. So we have update index and readme here, but we do not have this one. So now what do I want to do next? Git push origin. Remember, origin stands for this address right here, and I want to push my main branch locally up to the main branch on GitHub. So I say git push origin main. If you want to be really explicit about it, you would say git push origin main. This is main locally, colon, to the main branch on GitHub. If you do like colon origin main to something else, right, this will push your main local branch to the something else branch on GitHub. So I'll just do that just to show you. And you can see it's pushing the main branch to the something else branch on GitHub. And then because of that, if I refresh this, you can go to the something else branch and see that new feature there. Why is that useful? Like sometimes you are not ready to merge it to like, right, the branch that everyone else is using, but you still want to store it in the cloud somewhere to save it in case there's a flood or whatever. Okay, so what do I really want to do though is I want to push the origin main to main. So I could be explicit and do main colon main, or I could just say git push to origin main. All right, and this will now push the local main branch to the branch in the cloud. So if I go back to the main branch here, yeah, you can see it's already there. And look at the history, you can see adding feature 2 is there. All right. So there is a reading, on this. There's a little bit more we should go through. Also, if you're having issues pushing up to GitHub, we didn't get to that, like how to first kind of set up your SSH account, but GitHub does have good documentation and a combination of, you could just read the these 4 things, or if you want to read this Stack Overflow post and then this new thing about how to add an SSH key to GitHub, that should help out a lot. So I'll put those 2 things in Slack, and we made it. All right. So